I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Wednesday, July the 31st, 2013. The Palestinian flag stood alongside the Israeli flag in Israel's Knesset today to welcome Palestinian officials as they met at the Knesset's caucus on ending the Israeli-Arab conflict. It was not the first time a Palestinian flag flew at the Knesset. In July of 1999, then Knesset Speaker Avraham Burg hosted his Palestinian counterpart Ahmed Karai, and there were Palestinian flags throughout the Knesset at that time. The caucus's chairman, Labor member Hillel Bar, who initiated today's meeting with the organizations of One Voice and the Negev Institute for Strategies of Peace and Development, said he hoped in the future that the sight of the flags alongside each other would be natural. Bar also said that just as he had gotten 33 of the Knesset's 120 members to come to meet the Palestinian delegation today, he in turn expects 1/4 of the Palestinian parliament to greet the Israeli delegation when they go to Ramallah in the future. The Knesset members that were in attendance today were from the Labor, Yesh Atid, and Hatnu'ah parties. Today's meeting had been planned ahead of time but happened to fall at the end of the first round of peace talks in Washington, and the members of both delegations expressed their support for the diplomatic efforts. At the meeting, the Jerusalem Post asked Palestinian delegation member Mohammed Madani about the possibility of an Israeli flag flying in Ramallah, to which Madani responded, "It is logical that since you put up a Palestinian flag when we came here, that when you come to our parliament, there will be an Israeli flag," though others in the delegation thought this was not likely to occur until a peace agreement was reached. The Philippines said today that they would likely keep their 342 peacekeepers in the Golan Heights along Israel's border with Syria, despite earlier plans to withdraw the troops on August the 11th. The Philippines Foreign Minister Albert Del Rosario said today that his country was satisfied with action taken by the United Nations to keep Filipino peacekeepers safe, with promises to provide them with protective equipment and weapons, including armored vehicles. Del Rosario said on that basis he would recommend keeping the troops in place for another 6 months and make the recommendation to President Benigno Aquino. Back in May, the Philippines said it was considering withdrawing their forces after 2 groups of troops were taken captive by Syrian rebels. They were later released. The UN Peacekeeping Force, or UNDOF, has been in place since 1974, following the ceasefire agreement at the end of the 1973 Yom Kippur War. The Times of Israel reports that the European Jewish Association, or EJA, a Brussels-based group affiliated with Chabad Lubavitch, has hired Roman Giertych to launch a legal challenge to the shechita, or ritual slaughter ban, in Poland. Giertych is a controversial choice, as he's the former leader of the League of Polish Families, a far-right political party that has been accused of anti-Semitism. And while Giertych has disassociated himself from any anti-Semitism, many in the European Jewish community were taken aback by the EJA's choice, including Polish Chief Rabbi Michael Shudrich, who said last week that Poland's Jewish community was preparing to go to the country's constitutional high court to lift the shechita ban, and harshly criticized the EJA yesterday for their decision to petition the court on their own. He told the Post it is important that when there's concern abroad for the welfare of a Jewish community, that process be coordinated with the local Jewish community. It is a foolish move and often counterproductive, he said, for an outside organization, even with good intentions, to come into a local situation to even try to help the situation. EJA Director Rabbi Menachem Margolin defended the hiring of Giertych, calling him an excellent lawyer with good contacts in the corridors of power where the decision on shechita will be made. He said the fact that Giertych has repented his past only adds to that, saying some of our best friends in the European Parliament are former anti-Semites who want to fix the past and help us. TV host Dr. Mehmet Oz and his family and popular rabbi and author Shmuley Boteach arrived in Israel on Sunday and began their journey of Jewish values. As we reported to you on Friday, Oz had accepted a recent invitation from Boteach to come to Israel for a week-long visit, which would include stops at Jerusalem's Western Wall, Yad Vashem, and the Cave of the Patriarchs in Hebron. Boteach and Oz and company visited the cave on Monday and joined an impromptu horror circle dance with local residents after exiting the site. Oz, who was born into a Turkish Muslim family, said of the visit, "Being here connects us to the roots of our shared beliefs, the very spot where Abraham, the father of monotheism, is buried." Boteach remarked that the Hebron site is one of the only places on earth where one can see both Jews and Muslims praying together. He said, "We pray for the day when we will all pray together as brothers, just as Dr. Oz and I have done today."
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we kick off the show with Tom Jones.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. But when I see you hanging about with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry. I wanna die.
And finally today, the Jewish Week reports that Welsh superstar Tom Jones will be performing in Israel later this year. The now 73-year-old Jones will be playing some of his big hits like It's Not Unusual and Delilah at Tel Aviv's Nokia Theater on October the 26th. Jones following several big acts performing in Israel this summer, including Alicia Keys and, of course, Barbra Streisand, who performed in Israel for the first time after singing at Israeli President Shimon Peres's 90th birthday party last month. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Wednesday, July the 31st, 2013. I'm Teisha Bader.